Shout out to cancelbadcredit.com.
What up, though? You already know how it goes. Smash, like, subscribe, comment. I don't care what you comment as long as you comment. You dig? Hey, I want to tell a story about the Mexican Mafia Surenos, right? Now, the Mexican Mafia in MDOC is a very, very small group. It's not like California where they running it or whatnot, but they still step. Them boys still will step, even if it's four of them. Now, the Mexican Mafia, the Surenos, you already know their connection, right? So they usually click up with the Maniac Latin Disciples, the Spanish Cobras, Spanish Gangsters, Satan's Disciples, other Latin organizations that might not mess with the bigger, a lot of the Latin folks organizations that might not mess with the bigger entity, which is the growth and development, or y'all know them as Gangster Disciples. So they hook up. So it might be 10 or 12 of them all together. Compared to other groups, that's very, very, very small. And on this particular yard, this is the most Mexican Mafia members I ever seen. And I think it was 4 straight up Mexican Mafia guys and about 4 or 5 Surenos. And it was like all in the same unit. But they stick together. If somebody don't got something in those Latin organizations, they're going to have it. Because they always going to have some type of finance going on. They always going to have some type of income coming in, drugs, whatever the case may be, they going to have it. If they got to steal out the kitchen every day and sell onions and bell peppers, them boys are going to have money. And I love cooking up with my Mexican Mafia guys, my maniacs, because they cook the best. You know, they make the beans taste. I don't even like beans like that, especially on my tacos or in my cook-ups. But the way them boys fry the beans, hit it with I don't know what they be doing, but they make them beans taste like some pepper steak or something like that, man. Like some vegan steak. I don't know. Whatever they do it. But anyway, so it's a guy named Smiley. Don't get it confused with the real Trill Smiley with all the teardrops on his face. But this guy Smiley is from California, and he claimed like Vickystown, Sureno, or whatever. So Smiley started hanging out with this guy named Tweet. Tweet, a mixed guy. He from Saginaw. Been down probably like 10 or 15 years. I think he go home in like another 5 or 6 or whatever. But he a real manipulative person. And if you're not strong-minded around him, he'll manipulate you into getting into stuff that you ain't even supposed to get in, gambling debts. He'll talk you into going to put your name on some credit from somebody and get a whole bunch of store stuff and say, hey, I ain't tell him to go do that. That's on him. And y'all, I ain't got nothing to do with that. He owe that $40. I ain't come get it. Y'all know how the rules go. If you come get it, you pay it. I don't care who sent you, but he do stuff like that. And he would be a real cool guy if he just didn't do, all this grimy stuff. But he real funny, talk real well, use big words. But he rumored to be gay, which you do you. So Smiley started hanging around Tweet. His brothers felt like Tweet manipulated him into taking drugs, but I believe Smiley was already a drug addict before. He looked, a little light one. Anytime it was liquor, he'd spend his last dollar on it. Anytime it was a piece of Suboxone strip, he'd spend his last dollar on it. It don't matter, it just don't matter. He gonna spend his money on it. So I've been knowing this about him, but the habit just got worse. So they was getting a hold to, I guess, some dog food. Y'all know what that is, right? So he hanging with him every day. Smiley, drug addict. So he gonna fall up on anybody who got the drugs. So he get into some debt, maybe like $300 or $400, and some Moorish Americans want his head for. They want his head. They not playing about it. So I guess they go put a little pressure on people, or not even pressure, but they go politic with the Mexican Mafia and the Surenos and whoever they clicked up with. And the conclusion come, the head of the Mexican Mafia gonna put him on a payment plan to pay him back, but he's gonna cover the debt. And the agreement is not to sell him any more stuff, and then they also went to Tweet, don't give him more stuff. And they asked Tweet, are you gay? Tweet denies it. I'm not. This and that, because they didn't want Smiley around. So a couple days go by, weeks go by, Smiley stopped hanging with him. And then get flooded again. Guess what Smiley back hanging out with? Playing chess with every day, walking, staying away from the bros, not checking in when he come to the yard. He chasing this dude around because he got the drugs. Tell me why Smiley get into debt again. Smiley get back into debt. Put them in another situation to politic about it. So on and so forth, right? Now, these guys is highly organized. They highly vicious. When they step, they step. They'll throw their hands up in a lot of situations. We don't want problems. We don't want problems. We want to live peacefully. But when it's time to step, the Mexican boys gonna step. So they already talked to Tweet, mind you, right? They already talked to Smiley. So anyway, they do a mandatory workout day. Oh, you already know where this is going. Did a mandatory workout day on the yard. Violate him too. Oh, he got to do all his push-ups, his physicals, all that. Push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats. They work him to death. And you can see everybody else not working out as hard as him. You can see it. You feel the tension. You know what I'm saying? People stand in their own groups. Everybody, when you about to get hit in the joint, usually everybody know it except you, because somebody gonna always run their mouth. Somebody always gonna be awkward. So anyway, they work him. They work him out. Get him over there in the weight pit. It's only probably like 150 on this thing or whatever. So he's struggling to even lift it, right? This is the end of the exercise. So we over there just looking at what's going on. So look, as soon as he go like this, somebody come grab the weight, put it on his chest, and like lay on him. 2 Mexican Mafia members come, oil in his stomach. They butchering Smiley. Ain't no more talking at this point. They butchering Smiley. Right? So when he get up, the white shirt that he had on, you can see all the rips in it. It's just it was like this, man. It was drenched all in blood. He throwing up. This is the first time I ever seen blood coming out somebody's mouth, man. They had to hit this boy maybe 40 or 50 times. Police, pow. You hear boom. Everybody dispersed. They get back up. They get back on him. Hit him again. And then the police finally come, mace him. Everybody coughing. You can smell it all in the air, all on the yard. Right? So anyway, go back in the unit. Tweet don't know what happened. We all in the day room. We talking about it. We go back in the unit. We all in the day room talking about it. Tweet. Somebody come behind him. Hit him. A maniac jump on him. A maniac Latin disciple. Jump on him. Bop, 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 bop. Hit him all in his face. And got him off the yard too. And I know some of y'all thinking, what Tweet had to do with this? Tweet can't put the drugs in your face and tell you, hey, you better do it. I mean, he could, but I mean, what's the result of that? Tweet didn't make him do Tweet. Just manipulative, middleman, and getting them in debt, having them borrow stuff. This, you know what I'm saying? So they already stepped to him, said, this is my brother. He got a drug problem. It's rumors that you like this. We don't mind him talking to you. You don't mind him being cool with you. Don't get him in no more drug debt. Don't have your name involved with nothing involving debt with our brother. And he didn't abide by those rules. So when somebody brother step to you and tell you, don't sell my mans no more drugs, they mean that. This is their brother. And look what position you put them in when a bigger organization come blow down on you like, hey, bro, owe 400. Hey, bro, owe 300. He got that with Smiley, you feel me? I mean, not Smiley, but he got that with Tweet. He was in the wrong. And they got that boy off the yard, man. But them boys stepped hard. This is not the first time I seen them go off. Excuse me, this was the first time I seen them go off. The second time I seen them go off, they went at it with a little blood group or whatever, small group that was isolated on some renegade stuff. And I guess they was trying to make their name for themselves off the wrong type of people. And them boys got hit up at Ken Ross. You dig what I'm talking about? But that's my story on the Mexican Mafia, Surenos, the maniac Latin disciple click up, man. Hopefully I have Pac-Man on soon. He got some stories for y'all. That's Big MLD. If you go to my community page, he on there. Hopefully I have Senor, Al Senor. That's the story I told y'all about with the Lords when we was at Marquette Branch Level 1 and them boys stepped to me. So I'm glad I name drop. I love when I name drop because boys come out the woodwork. I couldn't find them. I've been looking for him a long time ago to get his story because I remember, like, even though, you know, people say stuff because they hate. You know, people say stuff about him on he ain't this, he ain't that, but every yard I seen him on, or every yard I came behind him, and I hear sing your name in the day room, Man, yeah, Senor came here and took the yard from us and he became the head. And I'm tired of it anyway, you know what I'm saying? He got some stories for y'all. He been through some things, man. I'm talking about some dead bodies in the backyard, buried. And this ain't nothing that he ain't gonna tell you. You feel me? This ain't nothing he ain't gonna tell you. Talk to him. Definitely gonna have him on the Zoom. I know y'all want Campbell Eel back. Got you. And then guess what? Guess who I'm hopefully I have this weekend. Schoolcraft Red Wing, the face of him since King Joffrey Joe passed. And he was always a face. He was always an entity. Even though he got incarcerated in between periods and stuff like that, man. We got Killer Slam coming on. Schoolcraft, Sosa, King Tut. He done changed his name so many times, but we about to have him on, man. And that's going to be, y'all going to love that story because he got prison stories, he got street stories, and then he got the origins of the Schoolcraft Red Wing Mafia. We could do a lot for you. Y'all know real Detroit stuff, man. Big 5.